While they appear static, plants are highly active living machines, constantly working to grow and execute a vital biological mission, to multiply. This illustration shows a basic divide in the plant world: those that reproduce without flowers, like ferns and pines, and the organisms that use flowers to multiply. This diagram maps out the core architecture of flowering plants. Notice the dividing line at the soil level. Every flowering plant divides its labor into two main territories: the root system below ground and the shoot system above. The structures we see above the soil rely entirely on the root network expanding through the darkness below. That underground system serves as a structural anchor to hold the plant upright while hunting through the soil to absorb water and minerals. Plants generally use one of two architectural strategies. This top diagram illustrates the taproot system, where a single deep-driving primary root provides stability. The second strategy is the fibrous root system. As shown below, this is a shallow, sprawling web designed to gather surface resources. Whether a plant drives a single spike deep into the earth or casts a wide net, the end goal is identical: to pump life-saving resources upward. Once those resources cross the soil threshold, they enter the shoot system, traveling up the plant's central pillar, the stem. Looking at the diagram on the lower right, you can see how the stem is organized. The points where new leaves or branches attach are called nodes, and the spaces stretching between them are the internodes. Inside that stem, a two-way transport process is constantly moving. Blue arrows represent water streaming upward from the roots, while green arrows show manufactured food flowing downward from the leaves. The stem is a supply line, ensuring the plant's internal food factories stay operational. Now those food factories are the leaves. A leaf is a biological solar panel, engineered specifically to catch incoming light. This diagram breaks down its two main structural parts. You have the broad, flat section called the lamina, and the petiole, the short stalk that connects it back to the main stem. This schematic overlays the core chemical process. Chlorophyll in the leaf captures sunlight and uses it to convert water and carbon dioxide into food energy, releasing oxygen in the process. The plant directs this manufactured energy towards its final goal: reproduction. All the water pumped from the earth and the food manufactured in the leaves has been building towards the moment the flower opens. The top right diagram shows the flower's first defense. The outermost green leaf-like structures are the calyx, or sepals, that protected the bud. Inside is the corolla, composed of colored, scented petals whose purpose is to attract insects. These protective and attractive layers support the biological work occurring deep inside the bloom. At the center of the flower is the male reproductive machinery, the Androecium. As shown in this middle diagram, it features stalks that produce golden pollen. Here in this top diagram is the innermost female reproductive core, the Gynoecium. This structure leads from a sticky top down into a swollen base called the ovary. When a winged insect arrives, it triggers pollination, moving pollen dust onto the sticky top of the female structure. Then internal fertilization begins. The pollen travels deep down the pollen tube to fuse with the egg resting inside the ovary. This fusion creates the blueprint for a brand new organism. Once internal fertilization successfully occurs, the brightly colored flower petals rapidly wilt and fall away. Its primary job is now completely finished. The remaining ovary begins to swell, its walls thickening and softening into a fleshy fruit. This diagram shows cross-sections of a mango and a tomato. This fleshy tissue, the pericarp, serves as a protective vault and transport vehicle. It protects the developing seeds inside and provides a means for them to be dispersed across the landscape. The payload hidden inside that fruit is the seed, a self-contained survival pod carrying a baby plant and its own food supply. Botanists divide these seeds into two main groups. As this diagram shows, dicots, like the split bean seed, have two seed leaves, while monocots, like the corn seed, have only one. When the seed eventually breaches the soil and hits water, germination begins. The cycle reboots as a tiny green shoot thrusts upward toward the light. This sequence of growth and reproduction, from the first root to the final seed, is the biological cycle that sustains life on our planet.